What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our goalie career. Before we dive into today's matchup against the Vancouver Canucks, I was fooling around in the calendar and the settings and the lineups and so on and so forth, and I've discovered something pretty cool about our own Vegas Golden Knights that I just wanted to go over with you guys. But before we dive into that, let's take a quick look at the calendar, remind everybody where we're at. If you remember from the last episode, we have officially reached the 2-week marker leading up to the trade deadline on March 8th. So 6 games separates us between all of the crazy AI GM moves. Teams will blow up, players will move, teams will grab players that they want to use for a good playoff run. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's my favorite thing about this game. We're coming off a 2-week hiatus, a little break in the calendar year, so the boys should be fresh in front of us. It should be a pretty fun matchup against Vancouver. They're vying for that playoff spot. They're about 4th, just ahead of the 5th position. You can see the stats actually tied with the Flames, so they need every point they can get. It's been a tight race in the West. The Pacific specifically, what a tongue twister, is definitely a tight race, so should be a tough game. We know what to expect, but during that 2 weeks off in the calendar, I was like, maybe there was some trades early, so I was looking through some lineups. There was nothing really worth noting. I think there was a couple changes here and there on like bottom 6 guys, but nothing in the terms of trading players away or to the Vegas Golden Knights. However, I saw something very cool. Yesterday, EA released one of the biggest patches I have ever seen in an NHL game, at least in the last few years. And it was a very good patch. I'll be the first one to say it. It was a very, very good patch. It fixed something like 100 or 150 bugs. There was gameplay tweaks. There was AI bug fixes and issues with their hockey iCUE system that they've now addressed. For the first time in like 4 years, there was goalie notes. There was human goalie notes that I could not believe. Like, how many times have we complained about the hug a post feature in the last 3 or 4 videos? They addressed it. Now, is it going to be perfect? Probably not, but they said they fixed the animation for hug a post. They fixed issues where going into one save animation prevented you from getting into the next one quickly. Supposedly fixed that. There's a number of goalie things that instantly say this is a really good patch. So we'll know right away. We'll have a look at that when we get in game to see if we notice anything different. But the patch note that sparked my interest was one of the last lines of the patch note said, made a change to roster. Now, that might not sound like much, but what's significant about that is historically, EA has always released their roster updates for NHL in separate patches. They've never bundled it into a typical maintenance or hotfix patch. It's always been its own with its own patch notes. Something like roster 2.1 is now available to download in the creation zone. Download it for your new save files. And that's the way it's always been. They've never found a way to implement it into existing save files, and understandably so. I mean, when you start to be a pro or a franchise, things start to change immediately. You have injuries, you have guys getting traded, you have coaches being fired, you have retirements from the league, so on and so forth. It's hard to go in and make the roster updates when things change so drastically. I get that. However, that note and viewing our lineup, they may have found a way. So let's go ahead and look at view lines here, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking. So this is our lineup. There's no new names. There's no names missing. It's the same 12 guys. However, most notably right at the top, Ivan Barbashev has been promoted from the second line to play left wing alongside Jack Eichel and Mark Stone. The same first line that Vegas uses in the real NHL. The man he replaced, Thomas Hertl, has now dropped to his center position on the second line, playing alongside Alex Holtz. The same they do in the real Vegas lineup. Now, though, the only exception in this bottom 6 is William Karlsson. I don't think is on the second line. I think he's actually third line center for the Vegas Golden Knights right now. But there are some issues with injuries, people missing games due to their, birth of their kid, or William Karlsson most notably missing time due to personal issues. So it's kind of up in the air where he'll play. We've seen him play on the left wing as well. But other than that, these top 2 lines are pretty much identical to what you see in the real NHL. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is one of 2 things, and both of them excite me. Either EA has figured out how to actually go into the game files, realize who you have on your team, and try and finagle the roster in a way that mimics as closely as possible to the current rosters in the real world. It's possible. Is it likely? I don't know. But it is possible that they have found a way to do that. The other option, which is equally as exciting and equally as impressive, is our AI coaching staff looked at our roster and said, we need to make some changes as we approach the playoffs. I don't know why they would do that, because our top 6 is scoring at a ridiculous pace. It's something like 4.4 goals for on average. Both lines' chemistry is through the roof. But then they made all these changes, and one of the two things happened, and they're both blow my mind. Like, when we break it down, like Barbashev, he's been unbelievable this year. He's been physical. He's had a ton of points. He plays really well. He deserves to play with these two guys. He really does. He'll fit nicely on that line. And then you got a guy like Hurdle, who, if I'm breaking down the first line when he was on it, he was probably the weakest link. And that's not to say he hasn't been good or he hasn't been getting points, but I think that's more being a recipient to a career year from Jack Eichel and Mark Stone. He doesn't shoot the puck. He makes bad passes, errant passes that get him into trouble. He doesn't back check. He's not very physical, even though he's a big body. He just felt like he was out of place there. But moving him to the second line center hopefully will unlock his AI and make it the script run a little bit differently, where now he has to play more defensively. He has to back check. He has to take faceoffs. He's good at it. We've seen him in the real world. He has a freaking shot on him. He just needs to shoot the dang puck, and playing alongside guys like Holtz and Karlsson who love to pass the puck, maybe that can get that started. I just think it's a really good opportunity for Hurdle to elevate his game, which will only help in this top 6. Now, I'm not saying Karlsson didn't do a good job, but I think he'll be fine on the left wing. He slots in there nicely, being left-handed, being a fast forward. I think he'll be fine. Another thing that this helps with is in the last few videos to weeks, we've seen the team struggle face-off wise. It's been one of two things. You either see Jack Eichel be really good, but William Karlsson sucks, or more noticeably and more frequently, we see William Karlsson is really good, but Jack Eichel sucks. Now, again, I don't think that moving Karlsson will necessarily fix that, but what I'm hoping is if Hurdle can get up to speed and start playing the center we know he can be, starts scoring goals, starts using his body, he can win a face-off with his foot, his body, his stick. That might alleviate some of the pressure coming from Jack Eichel's AI to always take those high, dangerous pressure system faceoffs when you're in the offensive zone or the defensive zone. So that's my hope. Again, I could be completely in left field. I could just be making things up, but it seems to me like EA influenced this roster somehow. Otherwise, I don't know why our coach would make that decision this late in a season, especially when we're first in the league, having a historic year. But it excites me, man, and I love roster changes. I love when free agency hits. I love trade deadline in this game. It's always a gong show, and our own team gives us a little taste of something leading up to it. Even if it's just line changes, I think it's a really cool thing. So we're going to go ahead back to our home barn against the Canucks and see if these two newly minted top 2 lines can piece it all together, start building some new chemistry, or if the coach is forced to put back the old lineups. But here we are, we're going out to the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. The lights are on, the glow sticks are up. The Golden Knights and Canucks have hit the ice. Puck drop is next for a fun matchup here in the Pacific Division. There you can see Ivan Barbashev lined up on the left wing alongside his new line mates, Jack Eichel and Mark Stone. And of course, after talking about face-offs, Jack Eichel will indeed lose the first draw of the game. Of course he does. A good keep in there by JT Miller, tries to find Quinn Hughes, pinching down low. It'll be Eichel who'll clear this puck up. Like I said, if it's not influenced by EA, what I like about it is the coach is looking and saying, hey, we have a couple needs that we need to address. Yes, it's late in the season. Yes, we're scoring at a ridiculous pace. And yes, we're first in the league. But this gives us a new look, a new opportunity to find new line combinations going down the stretch, going into playoffs, especially if guys are injured or they can't, we need to make a change because things aren't going well. I love this. This is so cool. And you just saw the stats there. So two very different teams. You got the Vancouver Canucks, who are really struggling to score goals this year. I think their leading goal scorer has 20, and then everybody else is in the teens. Not that great, but they're combining that with really good defense and really good goaltending. You just saw Thatcher Demko, 45th game played in this year, and he's still holding nearly a 910 save percentage. That's unbelievable numbers. So they piece it all together, and they're finding ways to get wins. They're very close to a playoff spot. They're in a playoff spot at the moment. And then the complete contrast, you got the Vegas Golden Knights, who are scoring at such a historic rate that they're scoring their way out of troubles. This season has been no means the best and most efficient, but we're finding ways to score, and that's leading to a ton of points going up on the board. So I love seeing what different teams can concoct during the year. It's a lot of fun to see how it all plays out. And very different stories here between these two teams as Miller will rebound in his own zone. Hughes now up to Brock Besser. Besser doing a loop. And Carlson in the neutral zone finds Roenick. Roenick steps offside. Yeah, we're getting ever so close to that trade deadline, and I'm just so anxious to see what happens. I mean, if you look at our LA Kings playthrough last year, we had, in our first year, our captain Kopitar got traded. About 3 or 4 of our goal scorers got traded. We basically rebuilt at the trade deadline, missed the playoffs, and then it took a couple years to find our way back. It's just so much fun. You have no control over it, and I love that idea. Anything goes. We're first in the league, scoring at a ridiculous pace. Our GM could just randomly be like, you know what? Let's trade everybody. And then we get screwed. You don't know what could happen. I don't think it will. As Hurdle now on the ice, loses his first faceoff in the offensive zone as a second line center, but it probably take a couple reps to get him back up to speed. And that's William Karlsson's trying to spot Thomas Hurdle down low. And this is the line I'm looking forward to. I think this line will actually benefit a lot more from having Hurdle replace Karlsson on that faceoff. If he can get his body going, if he can get his faceoffs worked out, I gotta think Holtz and Karlsson are gonna spot Hurdle a lot on this second line as Hurdle will return it to Holtz, crisscrossing through the blue line, trying to get it on the net, and Nils Hoglander will come back and grab that one, and he gets it up to Sprong, who is one of the few players left in the National Hockey League to use a colored visor. And he doesn't just use a colored visor, he uses a pink visor that I believe he started in Detroit. And it's actually kind of cool to see that EA kept that in the game. I don't remember seeing that in previous years, so nice little touch there by EA. Sprong is very known for having that, so Hannafin now back to Holtz, loses it. So if we're looking at the trade deadline and what I would like to see our GM do, first and foremost, I think doing nothing is actually fine. Now, if they want to trade some assets for some, draft picks or whatever, that's possible. If they're going to make any trades, I hope the only spot I think we could improve on is the defense. If we're looking at our defensive core, now obviously we have Shea Theodore and Pietrangelo. They're two guys that we don't need to change. They work well together. They've been playing well all season long. They're our go-to guys. But this second pairing on the ice right now is the one that I think could use some improvement. Now, Noah Hannafin has had a weird year. He was really bad for the first half, got injured, and since he's come back has been one of, if not the best defenseman, both offensively and defensively for Vegas. I can say that easy. But his playing partner, Whitecloud, you guys have called him out. We've seen the issues, a lot of bad turnovers, a lot of bad weird plays, as that puck weirdly comes out of the zone. I think you could find some improvement there, because the problem that I have is if any of those top 3 guys get injured, Whitecloud can't really slot in to fill the void or have somebody lower than him help him fill the void for a missing player. So I think we could probably improve there. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's just an option. Whether they'll agree or do that, who knows? But I think our forward lines, especially with this new line change, is going to be really fun watching down the stretch. Third line on the ice now for Vegas. Dorofeyev down the right side, tries drop pacing that for Waugh, but loses the puck. Hoglander up to Hughes, and Quinn Hughes alone at the hash mark is going to make no mistake, and he is going to bury a goal here. 6 of the season from Captain Quinn Hughes, and I mean, that's just a perfectly placed shot. The dude is just so good offensively. He doesn't keep it on his stick very long, and I mean, maybe a tiny bit deep. I don't think so. I was pretty square to the shot. It was just a beautifully placed shot, and I think it actually bounced off our paddle a little bit as well. So hey, it's a good goal. They left him alone right in front, and Hughes will get the Vancouver Canucks up 1-0 in the second half of this first period on their 5th shot. So probably not the goal I would want to go in. It's a little bit of a fluffy goal. It's a beautiful shot, but I probably should have been able to save that one. Now, you guys have been commenting on my posts, telling me, good job for staying calm when bad stuff happens. And, thank you for saying that. The thing I'll respond to every single time is I've been playing this game long enough. I know that even if EA continues to patch this game and make the best game possible, you're never going to get rid of all the garbage goals. It's just the way coding works. You're going to have weird bugs, especially with like the hug the post. Things like that happen. Trust me, when I watch it back and I see it, I'm just as pissed. Like, it makes no sense to me that some of these issues are in the game, but it's a part of the game. And like, I can't do anything about it. The thing with goalie, and a tip to anybody trying to start out as a goaltender in this game, you got to move on from it. If you're mad and you're playing the game and you're still frustrated from a play that happened right before, the play is going to come back to you 2 seconds later, and you have to be ready to make the save, or the score is just going to be 10-0. Like, that's just the way this game works. So you got to have a short memory. You got to move past it. I can be very frustrated, and on the next puck drop, it's over. It's gone. It happened in the past. Doesn't matter. So that's my mentality. It's hard to actually, you know, implement that, but I've been doing it for so long that I just accept that things are not going to go my way all the time, and things are going to be weird. You just got to roll with the punches. 5 minutes left in the first period. It is a 1-0 game thanks to the goal by Quinn Hughes. Very offensive, talented defenseman for the Canucks. That's a good face-off win by Jack Eichel. Whitecloud spots Stone. Stone with a drop pass. Couple of give and goes. I'm not sure if I like that last pass by Whitecloud, and those are the efforts that I'm saying he needs to clean up. Now that Hannafin's back full-time, not injured, they got to find some chemistry here because it just hasn't been working out for Whitecloud in the last few weeks of games. Hannafin all the way back across. Barbashev way offside. Stepped in and didn't even bother trying to get back on side as he will corral that puck into Vancouver territory, and the whistle is blown. Now, speaking of the new patch, I will be the first one, and maybe the first time ever on my channel, to say this patch was incredible. And I want to give kudos and commend EA on actually delivering a good patch. Now, look, NHL 24, when they released, they were flooded by negativity, and it got to a point where about a week or two later, they straight up came out and said, we are going to stop all further development on NHL 24 because it's not worth it, and we're going to focus on building NHL 25 and make it a good game. That's what they did. NHL 25 came out, and there was as much, if not more, hate towards the game in the early stages. But unlike 24, they did come out and say, we know that it's not in the place it needs to be. We're working on a lot of things. And they had, oh my gosh, and they had promised a week 1 patch. That didn't happen. It got delayed. Then 2 weeks later, it still didn't happen. But here we are about a month later, and they're dropping one of the biggest patches in NHL franchise game history. It has so many bug fixes. All you folks that are talking about what I think of the online experience, since the beginning of time, since the beginning of this game coming out, I have said that online is not worth playing because of all the issues. I can sit here confidently and tell you, well, it's not perfect and there's still going to be issues. The new patch addresses a lot of the reasons why the game was not fun. Your AI is no longer completely donkey dick and useless, excuse my language. It's not feeling like you're at a burden having AI defensemen and teams. Your goalie doesn't make stupid mistakes. Like, yes, there's still cheesy goals. EA, that's never going to be fixed, so there's no point in trying to get them to remove every single cheese goal. It's just how it works. But it is fun to play. I played a few games with my buddy, and we had a good time. It was a much different experience. There's still a lot of things that annoy us. They still have a long way to go, but it's a very good stepping stone. Not to mention, if you were one of the hundreds of people complaining about the customization being broken, they have since fixed that. All of the customization colors are back. You have your color wheel, you have your team wheel, all that sort of stuff. You can now successfully rotate your character while you're in creation mode. All of the team elements, all of the stadium elements, they have all been returned. And if you've earned, you know, hockey bags, they've successfully given them back to you. It's in a good spot, and it's a good patch. Not to mention, I have already noticed some changes to the goalie animations in this game as the first period is complete there. I will get back to casting this game. There's just a lot going on. That patch sparked a big conversation, so I wanted to get that out of the way. But I will once again say kudos to EA. Please keep it up. Don't let this be the only one. Keep developing, keep learning from your community, keep fixing things that need fixing. But this is one hell of a start, and I thank you for giving us at least this that NHL 24 did not do. But at the start of this period, I do want to just test a couple of the animations because I think I saw a little bit of improvement. Now, the biggest issue we had, as long as we have possession of the puck, which we don't, one of the biggest issues was the hug and post. I felt like anytime you did the animation, it felt like it wasn't seamless. And I mean, I gotta say, it is very smooth right now. Now, I know I'm gonna bite myself in the foot, and obviously we're not under pressure where our goaltender is doing a million things at once. But even just from that early look right there, like at the top of my crease, I'm going to go left and then I'm going to go right. And you'll see how smooth it is with very little interference along the net. And then I can go back out front. Like, that is night and day difference. You guys can look at my last 2 videos. I gave you an example of how that exact movement did not work. So if they actually fix that, oh my God, this might be the best goalie controlled game in a very long time. So some very cool things, but let's get back to the game. We're a minute in now as iCUE wins a good offensive zone faceoff. Shea Theodore getting it down low to Mark Stone and a good feed by Barbashev. You can see the creativity coming from this lineup. 2 periods in now. We've got a chance to see both the top 2 lines. No goals in that first period, something that Vegas really is not used to seeing, scoring at such a ridiculous rate in opening periods. Barbashev on the ground and injured, rolling in pain. He is going to limp off the ice. And oh my word. Hopefully he's okay enough to stay in the game. It looks like he was holding his leg. And at the next whistle, we'll have to see if Barbashev, who just got promoted, is going to be missing some time. Of course you did, EA. Of course. You give me all this hope with new lines, and then you go and injure my favorite player, Ivan Barbashev. Let's see. Does he stay in the game? It's a really awkward hit from the side. You can see him like fall on his hip. He holds his knee, and then he limps off the ice. He does get up quickly, but he is on the bench at least. That is a good sign. Normally in this game, if they are on the bench, they're okay to go. That is not what you like to see for a guy who's worked so hard, gets a shot on that top line. And there's a good play. The body used by Thomas Hertl. That's what you love to see. He's a big guy, 6'3", 200 and something pounds. He should be able to muscle people off the face-off dot. So a good face-off win. Nothing to set up in the offensive zone as Sprung steals that one away, but just the little things we're looking for right now. As we get closer, we're trying to fine-tune, trying to pinpoint all the mistakes in our game. And I think the coach, if it is the coach's decision, maybe a little influenced by EA, it is great to see them trying to work out some kinks in the armor. I'm telling you, these animations feel very snappy. I feel like the biggest difference is it's actually reacting to my inputs almost immediately. And maybe that's all it was. Maybe the inputs were just so damn delayed that it felt like your guy was doing all sorts of crazy things because the next sequence would come up, it would clash with your input, and it would create this weird little spin animation. But 22-17-0. I mean, 12-5-0 as a backup is one hell of a season. I'm not even like, I think we're in the Calder race. I don't think we're gonna win it. We're gonna do our best to try and, you know, at least be near the top of the conversation, but it's hard to win it as a goalie. Joshua now, Joshua, not Johnson. Myers down low, gets a shot. Susie back in. So both defensemen pinching up a little bit here. And it's going to be battle 1, Hannafin now. Noah Hannafin back in, one-on-one. Drop pass to Whitecloud, who spots Eichel. Goes down to one knee, and it's a good shot on net and a good block in front. Whitecloud, Pendle on the board, so he's trying to kick it free. He loses that battle, but he's able to get the puck back in neutral space. Up to Barbashev. Barbashev back on the ice. Got to be careful with him now. Definitely do not want to see him leave this game with an injury. Joshua pinning him along the board. Now Eichel coming to support. Whitecloud will get to the puck first. Eichel tries to spin it back in front. He loses the puck, and Danton Heinen back to Myers, who winds up in a poke check from behind. Oh my gosh. Barbashev, please don't die. Oh my gosh, what a play by Stone as he gets dumped into the corner. A deke behind the back pass. I've never seen that one in this game so far. That was creative. It was almost a golden opportunity as Eichel was right there, but it just gets poked off his stick. And now Hertl with a burst of speed. The big man skating in. He loses the puck, and Demko will try and feed it over to Roenick, who finds Brock Besser. So some good plays here. You can hear the boos, as I believe it was Besser who may have injured or potentially injured Barbashev off that awkward hit. A steal in front, and now it's a power play coming up, as that is a great play by Thomas Hertl to keep that puck in the offensive zone. Passes it back down low to Holtz, and just as he cuts back to the middle, an errant stick, and yeah, he gets him right into the arm, a shake of the wrist, and you can see Quinn Hughes not happy about that one, but he will sit 2 minutes for slashing. All right, boys, this is an opportunity. 23.4 on the season, so if you remember from a couple of games ago, we were down to 20%, so they've definitely found some strides here in the last few games. As Barbashev now in to take a face-off on the power play, and it's going to be the man Holtz. 29 goals. 29 goals. This man is on fire. He will score off the faceoff. Barbashev reuniting with his line mate. Wins the faceoff. It gets poked away, and while Demko's trying to reset, he looks to the sky. So a faceoff win there as Dorofeev comes in to help out. It squirts into an awkward position, and he just is able to bury it. Very tight, finds that opening space, and he's going to get 29 now on the season. A power play tally, a 1-1 goal here halfway through the second period. And the Knights are on the board, baby. Let's go. What a play. Alex Holtz is just so good, dude. Like, he has really been a lethal weapon on that second line. And as much as I loved his connection with Barbashev and William Karlsson, I think having Hurdle there, the bigger body, the guy that can get to some dirty areas, I think the two of them can really put the pressure on this second line, as now Holtz using his body to get physically involved. Wow, what an effort. What a quick face-off, and what a freaking quick goal. I feel like that was so fast. Hannafin now. Back up to Holtz. Alexander Holtz. Looking like he's on pace for 35 maybe with the games remaining. I don't know how frequently he scores when we simulate games, but 1 goal away from 30. I believe he'll join only Eichel, who has 30 on the team right now. I don't think Mark Stone has crept into 30. He might have. But he's got to be near in the top of the league as well in goals. Like top 10 maybe. He's had a hell of a year. I'm telling you, these hug posts. But the one that's blowing my mind is from here to standing. Look how smooth that feels right now. Usually your guy's leg gets caught, it breaks in half, and you fall over. So EA, again, if you actually fixed it, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because that's been a gripe with your game and human goaltending for like 3 versions now. Hurdle in front, and a nice hard shot. Rebound corralled into the corner as Holtz gets there first. Whitecloud makes a pass back to Holtz in front of the net. And some good puck cycling coming from the second pairing now. Whitecloud looking like he's settled in a little bit more. A weird line change there sees Pietrangelo switching spots, but he does get back in time and steals that puck away. Hoglander back to Dylan. No way! Oh my gosh, the rebound right now is absolutely wild as a ping pong like shot finds Elias Pettersson on the side of the net, and I don't even think he shot it into the net. I think he banked it off of us. Oh my gosh, what a goal. Hey, I always respect good goals. I always respect good goals. This is a hell of a hand-eye coordination. Look at this. What? Yes, it still goes off our foot as we nearly get across. But what did I just witness? So Pettersson makes the play along the board, helping out by whoever number 21 is there. And it's just miscommunication by these two guys. It's a good shot. It's a better save. I mean, we get it. Like, with 2 bodies on him? Are you kidding me? What a goal by Elias Pettersson. And I mean, there's literally nothing we can do. It fell right on the skate. And as we're coming over to hug that post. Wow, dude. What an unbelievable series of events to lead to that goal for Elias Pettersson, who is now up to 17. And there's your goals. It's just, hey, if they're going to put games together like this where they only need a couple to win and their defense and goaltender does the rest of the job, then it doesn't need to be high, but I'm sure they would say they're not overly happy with those numbers. But my God, what a goal by Elias Pettersson now. And there's just the hug post feature working well again. I know we're losing this game, and I know a goal just went in while we were trying to get there, but the animations look a lot cleaner. Okay, I'll stop talking about it. I'm just happy, that's all. All right, face off in the defensive zone. Eichel will turn his body and win that one. Beautiful, that's what you need from him. Theodore backhands it up to Jack Eichel, who loses that battle, and now Susie. Susie down low, gets it back in front, and Barbashev will win that battle. Eichel under pressure. Barbashev just needed to stick on the ice. It goes past him, and now Besser back the other way. Brock Besser. Besser down low, looking for a pass in front. But it's going to be a good play once again by the defenseman, Barbashev. So I'd say the top line looks a little less impactful than our second line as Besser breaks free. Brock Besser with a big shot and a big save as now we're under pressure. Trying to get back to her feet with... Whew. All right, boys, wake up. Everybody's sitting still. Everybody's sitting still. Oh no. Full pressure now for this Canucks squad. All right, I'm going to pause it because I want to see if that save was as good as I thought it was, because I think it may have just been an over-exaggeration of the animation. I mean, it had eyes. If I'm being honest with you, that had eyes. I'm actually surprised I didn't glove that. Yeah, it had a look of going in. But it's a good split save there. We keep that one out. The rebound was a little too close for comfort, but now Barbashev will break back into the Vegas territory. Barbashev behind the net, sorry. Mark Stone, but he's unable to get there first. And now Vancouver regroups. Errant pass into the middle for Mark Stone to pick that one off. Line change underway. Mark Stone able to shake off his man Dorofeyev going to the net. It's back for Waugh. Stone under all sorts of pressure, but he hangs onto the puck now. Noah Hannafin, he will lose the puck. I'm not going to play this one because I will get burnt trying to pass that one out, as we'll let Waugh come back and handle it. He does not do such a thing. We probably should have played it. Come on, White Cloud. Show me why you deserve to be on this team. Dorofeyev now. Dorofeyev in. Tries to find space. Gives it to Hannafin, and a big blast from the blue line. And a good save by Thatcher Demko. Only 13 shots up to this point for the Vegas Golden Knights. So definitely not the busiest night offensively. We're trying to make most of our opportunities. It is only a 1-goal game with 20 seconds left in the second period. Keegan Colasar trying to find room. Drop pass. And Olofsson will ring that one just wide. It nearly clipped that post. Roenick down low, passes it out, and that's going to do it for the second period of play here, as Josh will get knocked to the ice by Colasar. We will head to the last 20 minutes of regulation. Hey, they actually showed my highlight that I was looking at. I didn't think they would. There you go. Big save by the kid. Keeps his team in this one as Pietrangelo gets sent flying. And this is the goal. It's just an unbelievable hand-eye. I mean, I don't even know what you do in that circumstance. All right, here we go. Third period left. We need a big period here. If we want to try and take 2 points away, at least send this one into overtime. Start the return from the 2-week hiatus on a good note as we approach trade deadline here in NHL 25. Mark Stone back to help out, up to Barbashev. Back across to Pietrangelo, who finds Theodore. Now it's Mark Stone getting it through the neutral space. Stops, fires it, nearly beats. What a shot. What a nifty little play, too. And a big blast from the point. A little mistimed effort there, and it's easily steered into the corner for Thatcher Demko. But what a play by Mark Stone to just get that puck up in a hurry and nearly beat Thatcher Demko as he rings it off the pipe. Eichel cuts back in front, loses the puck. Stone now. Back to Theodore. Some defensemen trying to find any lane into the offensive zone, just not to be had as the puck goes all the way down, and Pietrangelo will have to regroup in Vegas territory. Stone now, up to Eichel. Eichel with a burst of speed, and he goes backhand, forehand, and it's a great save. As Demko's able to fight off that puck, it goes up in the air, and he's able to hold on to it before his... Oh my God, where's this puck? I thought we just moved out of the way. Oh my gosh, we make a huge save and momentum for the Golden Knights as Pietrangelo streaks in. Hurdle now on the ice with his line mates Carlson and Holtz. Remember, newly minted second line as well. So far, they've looked pretty good, and Besser's just going to easily beat us there. And you can see the reaction from the kid. He is not happy with that effort. And that's just a goal that a good goal scorer beats a young rookie goaltender. We're in position. We have all the time and space in the world. Yes, there's a tiny bit of traffic right here, but it's just a late reaction from our left glove. And Besser makes no mistake. I guess there was quite a bit of traffic now that I'm looking at it from that angle. Like right there, you have 3 bodies fully in the view, but I still think that's a goal I should have not allowed. It's a 3-1 goal. It's a kind of a dagger. The crowd goes silent. It is what it is. That's a beautiful shot. Brock Besser's not going to miss too many of those, especially with traffic in front. It looked a lot more open when I was playing, but from that replay, you can very easily tell the 3 bodies closed in on Brock Besser in a hurry and took away our eyes. So pretty solid shot. 20 goals now on the season for Brock Besser as Nils Hoglander tries to get around his man. We'll see if this second line has any response. It's not been the greatest offensive, but they're doing a lot of things right as Demko has to squeeze his legs there. The hard shot, and that's why I want Hurdle shoot more. His shot is so unbelievably fast and powerful in this game, and he just never wants to shoot the puck. But he's had a couple looks tonight. He's at least getting the puck directed towards the net. Why not score many goals in our first game with these two new lines? It's an experiment more than anything, but it is good to see that what I was hoping would happen is at least looking like it's trying to happen. You got two guys trying to find a very talented Thomas Hertl. 25-17 are your shots, 3-1's the score. It's not been a bad game. It's just like I said, there's 2 goals from Vancouver. The first 2, especially the second one, not a whole heck of a lot you can do. You got Quinn Hughes on the first goal, absolutely rifles it. And then you got Elias Pettersson, who plays, like, I don't even know how he angled his stick that way from that angle, but it was a beautiful goal. And then Besser winning. But we have some life. I mean, we've seen a couple of good opportunities. Right now, Demko's honestly the difference. It's not like Canucks are shutting down our opportunities that much. I think the shot clock is a little bit of a different story. Right now, Thatcher Demko trying to hang it strong. Like I said, these 2 points are more valuable to the Canucks than it is to the Golden Knights. That's not to say that we aren't trying to build our lead and continue to put points on the board. It just, right now, when Vegas is pretty much all square with about 3 other teams in the Pacific Division, they're going to try and fight for every last point to ensure they make it to the postseason. You just got to make sure that as a Vegas team, you don't coast your way home into the playoffs. You want to make sure you're in good fine form, and that's why I respect this line change. If it was the coach, this is a great gamble to see what you got, see what kind of combinations you can throw up there, see if you can get guys energized and ready to go. Right now, it's shown signs. It's definitely shown some signs. I think Barbashev has been the quiet, but remember, he is nursing a potential injury as Eichel squirts free in a similar spot that Besser just scored. But it's another hard fought off save by Thatcher Demko. And now Miller trying to get deep into the corner. Where is this puck? Is Mark Stone all over us? TJ Miller trying to find that loose puck. We're able to squeeze the leg and make our 23rd save of the game on 26 shots. It's been a fun game. Like, it's definitely, I think the score is a little indicative of how close it's actually been. It's been a nice, tough matchup. There's a nice fluffy shot from the point. We have Sprong right on the doorstep. We're not going to make a weird play and risk any further goals. We have 10 minutes left to figure out how to beat Thatcher Demko. Face off now for Thomas Hertl. And he continues to win, so that was the key component. That's the only thing I wanted out of this specific game, was him to find his footing in the center ice. And why not make it a goal? Thomas Hertl, this is where he belongs. He belongs in that center position, finding open space, letting those 2 talented wingers find him. And after winning a beautiful draw, that's what happens when you win draws. Gets down on one knee and barely finds room on that right side. What an unbelievable effort by William Karlsson. Thomas Hertl drops back, gets in all alone, and that's why this man needs to shoot the puck. It's everything. Did I not forecast this when we talked about this at the beginning? Thomas Hertl gets in there for a defensive zone faceoff. He wins the defensive zone faceoff. His team moves the puck forward. William Karlsson drags 2 Canucks players with him, and Thomas Hertl gets a beautiful feed and blasts that one past Thatcher Demko, and all of a sudden, it's a 3-2 hockey game, and the man we had our eye on from the beginning has found the back of the net, and this second line is looking real good. We know the top line's going to perform. All 3 of those guys. Eichel's leading the league. Stone is right there behind him. Barbashev has had a huge impact. This is the line I wanted to see work, and so far, Alexander Holtz and Hertl have found the back of the net, and Hertl is still looking for more. This is a great effort here. Back in front. Pietrangelo now tries to find space, but Hoglander will block that one. Now he's out with some speed. Hoglander back to Sprong. We just got enough of that one. I'm kind of fighting the puck a little bit here. It's not as clean effort as I would like. The puck's squirting out of her glove. So we do have to be a little bit careful here. The rebound control is not as sharp as it usually is. But I will tell you what is sharp. Those animations along the post really do look nice. There's our schedule coming up. We got the Kings, we got the Blackhawks, and we got the second in the league New Jersey Devils coming up in a short amount of time. Face-off lost by Eichel, who proceeds to absolutely floor his man there with a jarring hit. And Stone now strips that puck away. He is on a breakaway. Mark Stone tries to go backhand, forehand. And once again, Thatcher Demko coming up absolutely huge for the Vancouver Canucks. And he'll keep this game a 3-2 lead for his boys in the white jerseys. Eichel now for a faceoff. He wins that cleanly. That's a good one. Back to Hanifin, who spots Barbashev. Some good puck movement, but somebody needs to steer this one towards the front of the net. And White Cloud makes another bad play. And thankfully, Hanifin, who's done so well, just as I was about to say that, decides to give the puck away. And JT Miller just threw that across the goal line. If he was a lefty or righty, I'm not sure which. Yeah, I guess if he was a righty, that's in the back of the net as we make a big blocker save. And come on, boys. We got to shore up our bench if this White Cloud line is going to keep giving it away. Is now Hanifin down in low. He's trying to get involved, however. That's a good effort. Stone back on the ice. Or maybe double shifting here. No, Eichel. Barbashev. Pietrangelo back in front. Tries to send it across seam for Jack Eichel, who is waiting there in the wings for a tap in. Hoglander. Where's the puck? Oh my gosh, we've had to make some big saves in this one. We've had to make some absolutely monstrous saves to keep our team in this. And with the puck cleared here, that was as close as it's going to get. Holy moly poly. So it's a shot and a rebound. Oh my gosh. And it's just... it's sprung on the doorstep. Us sitting on our rump, looking at him streaming in. And we just get enough of that one to send it into the corner. Back to Hanifin, who winds up, and it's a hard shot blocked. Once again, Hurdle back on the ice. Second line. They scored the last goal, and that's a 99.7 mile per hour shot by Noah Hanifin. And now the one-timers are just raining in here as Carlson on the doorstep, full pressure. And what is happening? The boys are working hard. That's what's happening. Another big 2 saves in favor of Thatcher Demko. Wow, wow, wow. What a game we got brewing here. And now, right now, it's a goaltender duo. Not duo. Well, duo. I guess both goaltenders are performing very well for their respective teams. 1 minute and 45 seconds left. I'm going to play this out in hopes that if we get control, they'll call me to the bench. Do you think they'll call me to the bench? Likely not. We are down 1 goal. We know EA is... Oh my gosh, they called me to the bench. I'm so slow. Oh, no. Did they turn it over? They turned it over. Jack Eichel steps on. He's going in. Holtz with a shot. I can't really see what's going on. Hughes gets it up to Dan Heinen. Oh, that is a bad... Okay, he shoots it wide. Shea Theodore had him, but he just let him go by him. Eichel now. 6-on-5. Hughes with another pick apart there. Holtz keeps it in. Holtz backs. No, it just squeaks free. Come on, boys. Watching from the bench for only the 2nd time this year. Typically, they do not like pulling their goaltenders, even when they're down goals for whatever reason. But here we go. Hurdle trying to make a play. Carlson on the ice. Back in front. What a save by Thatcher Demko. Oh, my God. We're going to have to watch this one. That is an unbelievable play again. Are they going to show it? No, they're just going to show the empty net for literally no reason at all. What a play, and you can see Eichel cannot believe it. It's Hurdle holding the line, getting it across to Carlson with a beautiful... Oh, he had to grab it on his backhand. And I mean, that's just a big effort by... Wasn't the best save that I thought I saw, but he did get down and in position to at least give himself that chance to make the save. 15.8. Can Eichel win the faceoff when it matters the most? No. That is a struggle, and I really wish they had Thomas Hurdle, although he was exhausted. In for that one. Barbashev back up, over across the Dorofeev. 19-5. Shoot! We have 1 face-off left. 1.9. It's been a pretty solid game. More importantly, these 2 lines have looked good. I think the second line has impressed me more than the first, but it has been a good test for these 2 new lines. It's unfortunate that we will not take the point. We will lose this game, but I'm still very happy with the effort. I think you saw why this line will actually work. Now, for us, it's another loss. We need to clean up our game a little bit. That Elias Pettersson goal, there's quite literally nothing I can do. The other 2 goals are just 2 goal scorers beating us. That's something we can work on with our training hours. That's something that we can get better on just positionally. That's the blast that play right there I could not get over. Unbelievable. And right up, he whiffed. That's the worst part about all of that is iCUE whiffed, and that's why he was shocked right there. But it was a good effort. It was a good bounce back. The coach actually pulled us, which never happens in these EA games. We will take the 3-2 loss. It's not a bad effort at all. I know that, you know, stupid... what's his name? James Cebulski.
No need to sit there and point fingers and lay the blame on anybody. I mean, you're talking about one of the best goalies in the league so far this year, and we're saying
thanks. I thought he was going to chirp me, but he's actually going to. He's actually going to give us a little bit of a shout out. But yeah, it's exactly right. It's one of the best teams in the league. If it's the best team in the league, it's a really good goaltender. We've been playing well all year. It's back from vacation. Things are going to be a little rusty. We're trying some new stuff. But with a perk point available, this is where I need to figure out where I'm actually going to put the points into. I feel like positioning really needs some work with these angles. But is there something that's more important? Passing, no. Rebound control, that is pretty low. You know what? I'm going to put this... It doesn't give us a whole heck of a lot, though. But I think I am going to work towards more rebound control, because that is a weakness that I've found a lot lately. And that's going to do it for this video, but we're going to go ahead before we jump off and figure out where we're going to play next. Remember, there's only 5 games after that one before the trade deadline. So let's go ahead and start simulating, see where we might end up. So obviously not playing against LA. We do pull off that win in overtime. That is an LA Kings team who looks really good as well based on their stat tree. We got Chicago. Oh, we're getting the start against Chicago. So there might be a few games here before we actually make it to the trade deadline. So interesting to see. They're still going 1A, 1B. That's kind of been the theme here lately. I thought maybe we would, with the game so spread apart, they might give Aiden Hill another one. But we're going to hop in the net for a game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Connor Bedard is going to be in this one. We're at... Oh, wait, are we at home? It looked like that said it was at Chicago, but this definitely... I believe, is it at Chicago? Versus Chicago. Okay, my bad. Anyway, that's going to be it. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I wanted to get that cool, exciting patch out of the way. Still a fantastic season, was still a good game. Let's hope that these two lines can continue to build chemistry. I really believe in that second line. I really believe in Thomas Hertl moving down to that second center position. But until the next video, as always, make sure you guys are taking care of yourself out there. It's a crazy world. The election came and went. That's all I'll say about that, but make sure you guys take care of yourself. Take a moment to just relax and breathe. I hope this brought a little bit of entertainment in a crazy time in the world. But until the next episode, we'll catch you back here. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye, guys.